I'm doing
Hey, Jones.
fantastic.
It's
It's
so
a
nice to
beautiful
have you on the
day
show
here in the
today. How are
States,
you
and
doing?
looking forward to our conversation together.
Beautiful, beautiful. Me too. And you see, just like I mentioned earlier, thank you so very much for being here. You see, I truly appreciate it. And oftentimes, Jones, I love to thank my guest for two things. And I do this so often to the point where it has become my signature. Because I say it so often to all of my guests. So, firstly, Jones, I want to say thank you for investing in yourself. You see, you are on this platform right now, right here, because you invested in yourself. And oftentimes, Jones, I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. You see, some months back, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, there was this tall, unattractive mango tree. And I use the word unattractive because the mango tree's got no mangoes on it and the leaves were all dry. So I just walked past it and I went my way. But you see, Jones, just recently I was on that same road. And this time around, a lot's changed about the mango tree. You see, the mango tree caught my attention pretty good from a distance. And immediately I got the urge to move so close to it, of which I did, and it wowed me. Because now the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it. Excuse me. Beautiful branches, beautiful green leaves rather, healthy branches. And now not just mangoes, Jones, but ripe mangoes. It was a beautiful moment that day. A very special one at that. I was so excited. Here is my point. The fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing Jones that you are today, that alone has made it really impossible for me to skip you. And that's why you see you got the request from me to be on the show. Because I was attracted to the fruit of all that you're doing. Your work, your insights, your philosophies, and the impact your solution is having. It's amazing. And just before you got the request from me, I said to myself, I've got to benefit from these beautiful things that Jones is doing. Not only me, but even my audience. And here we are
Thank you.
today with the amazing Jones. So thank you so very much for investing in yourself. And secondly, thank you for saying yes to the invite. Because if you had said no, there was nothing Elisha could do about it. Thank you so much, my man.
Well, it's my pleasure. We're all here to help each other, and in whatever ways that we have and the resources that we have. And so it's an absolute delight to be able to talk with you today and hopefully offer a tip or two to your listeners to improve their lives as well.
Sadly, beautiful. Love that. So let's get started. You see, Jones, I'm quite excited to have you on the show today for some reasons. Two reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order for one to transition from a chaotic situation to that of a beautiful one, I believe it takes the application of knowledge, quality information, not just knowledge now, but the application of it. And you see, Jones, ever since I discovered that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness means ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation today very, very important to me and even to the listeners. The second reason why I'm excited to have the amazing Jones on the show is for the sake of the audience. You see, Jones, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got lots of information flying out there. So these folks trust me for quality, eye-opening, and very important information, of which I am totally convinced that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So for that reason, Jones, my man, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or professional journey, because right now we are so curious. We want to know how Jones got here. Then afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, Jones, over to
Wonderful.
you.
Wonderful. Yeah, I am a professional speaker, author, and coach. I've been in this space for about 30 years. My background is being a former classroom teacher And what I love to do is to help people through models, through analogies or metaphors. For example, if I'm helping someone who says, "Oh, I have too much to do," then I'm going to take them to the circus to understand how to better balance all the things they have going on. If someone wants to grow their leadership, they want to become a stronger leader, I'm going to take them into the garden, and we're going to use principles from successful gardening to help them understand how to be a better grower of people, which is what a leader, I believe, is. Of course, my latest outing, my latest work is all around how to improve focus. And what I encourage people to do there is to raise the lid on a hive of bees, of course, with a suit on for protection, but to do that so they can watch what they do and learn how to improve their own ability to focus. And I love using models like that because people can figure out where they are and what's the next step they need to take. I don't have all the answers for all of your listeners, Elisha. I don't even pretend to. But if I can create a picture for them that they can say, there's where I'm at, and here's where I want to go, and here's a way to start moving in that direction, then I feel like I've done my job.
Very, very true. And that's a great approach. I love the approach. And it sounds really interesting and profound. Okay, so let us talk about fixing focus issues. All right. How can we fix focus issues?
Sure. There's a whole lot there. I think that one of the best ways to begin fixing our focus issue is to acknowledge we don't really try very hard to focus. We say in my book that we have to give ourselves permission to focus because we give ourselves permission to be distracted. We start to work on something, but then we reach for our phones or we think of something else that we're supposed to be doing or want to be doing. We're tired because we haven't slept well the night previous, or we haven't managed our diets well, so we don't have the energy we need to focus. So I think the first step in fixing our focus problem is acknowledging most of the time we're the problem. And there's some things about us that need to change if we're going to be able to stay focused in the moment, each day, and throughout our lives.
Got that. So busy or focused, what's the difference?
Yeah, I love that. You caught yourself, didn't you? Of course, for what we're doing, people always say busy as a bee, busy as a bee. And that implies a lot of activity, but it doesn't necessarily mean you've accomplished a whole lot. I mean, I've heard people say, "Oh, I was so busy all day," and I'll say to them, "What did you get done?" They'll look at me kind of funny. Well, I don't know. I was just busy all day. Focused is the intentional direction of your time and energy toward what matters most. The intentional direction of your time and energy toward what matters most. So what's the difference between busy and focused? Busy is a lot of activity. Focused is activity that's aligned with the outcomes that you want to accomplish at work or in life.
That's profound. That's profound. I got that. Okay, still on focus now. All right.
Mm-hmm.
What are some simple ways to improve focus?
Sure. One of the simplest ways is to acknowledge or figure out what is distracting you. Is it your energy level because you're tired? But what is that thing that's distracting? Is it your phone because it's too close to you and it's causing you to be distracted? Is it that you feel overwhelmed by everything that you have going on? If so, then how can you begin to work on those things, or how can you begin to address those things so you don't feel so overwhelmed? Example, I might ask someone in a coaching session when they say they want to, they don't focus well and they want to improve. And I'll say, what do you notice is distracting? And they'll go, everything. I'm like, no. Tell me when you are preparing to focus, whether it's in a conversation or whether it's working on a task, what do you notice distracts you? And if they don't know, I'll have them to actually make a log of distractions. I'll say, for one day, I want you to keep up with the things that you notice distract you. Sometimes it's a thought. Sometimes it's something going on around them. Sometimes it's other people that's distracting them. But I think one of the best ways we can begin to start focusing is to ask ourselves what's distracting us. The other one, and then I'll stop. I could talk all day about this. The other one is that I think we have to get clear about what we want. So often, if we're not clear about what we want, then our mind can just go anywhere. But if we're clear about our goals, if we're clear about our priority for each day, then I think our mind has somewhere to start channeling that energy. If we don't, that's when we become distracted.
That's so true, what we want. And that's exactly what I do on a daily basis. I always try so much to plan my days. They say, set out those goals, the stuff that I'm going to accomplish for each day. And getting to listen to you now, there's some very profound insight from you. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so let us talk about yeah, the biggest misconceptions about focus. And how does your message challenge this misconception?
Biggest misconception I think we have about focus is that it's easy to do. That sounds simplistic, but that it's easy to do. That I can say, okay, I need to work on this report or project, whatever it is, and that we can sit down. Most of us like to sit when we're doing things like that. That we can sit down and we can immediately start working on it. We haven't stopped to ask ourselves, am I in a place with my energy that I can focus well? Maybe we're tired. Maybe we're hungry. Maybe we're sleepy. The second thing is the environment around me going to be helpful for focusing? In other words, is there something I'm going to see that might distract me, or are there some noises that might distract me? But I think it's incredibly important to work to create that environment where you can focus. And instead of just thinking, okay, I can immediately do it. Elisha, we talk about focus. We talk about focus in conversations. You've been talking with someone before, and they said they were paying attention to you, but you could just tell that their mind was 100 miles away, or that they were thinking about something else. And oh yeah, I'm listening. I'm tracking with you. I'm hearing everything you say. And you're thinking, no, you're not. The whole idea there is it's easy to focus. It's not. We have to work at it.
Exactly. I got that. And it's a very important one because a lot of people have been unable to achieve some certain things in their lives because they are lacking in this angle of, focus. And just like you
Exactly.
mentioned, difference between being busy and being focused now, a lot are busy and not focused. That intentional, creating intentional time to achieve stuff that align with your goals and all. I got that. Okay, so you mentioned something very profound while you were talking earlier. You said that we need to give ourselves permission to focus because we give ourselves permission to get distracted. So how can we intentionally or consciously give ourselves permission to focus on stuff that matters daily and all?
Yeah. There are 6 ideas that we talk about. There are actually 6 permissions that are important. And of course, permission to focus, imagine that being the umbrella, the one that's above all of them. The 6 that are under there, and I know we won't have time to go into all of them today, but you still get the idea. One is permission to prioritize. We have to decide what is most important to get done. And the only way we can prioritize is if we are clear about our goals and the outcomes that we're looking for. The second one is the permission to plan. We have to do a better job of, like you said, you plan your day so that you know what you want to get done and you know when it's going to get done. There may be some problems that pop up or things that happen during the day that take you away from it, but at least you have a plan. The third permission is the permission to be unavailable. This is probably one of the ones that's gotten the most response from readers of the book, because we always want to be available, whether it's keeping our phones close, whether it's being available to people at work. But we have to set times when we're unavailable, when we are by ourselves, where we don't have other stimuli, so that we can really focus on what it is that's going on. The other 3, I'll make them short. The other 3 are recharge. Focus is like a muscle. And so focus takes a lot of energy. So we have to give ourselves permission to recharge, to step away. And then the other two are to change and to be consistent. So I think for your listeners, if they're kind of going, wait, that's a lot. I think you start with, okay, if I want to focus, what's the permission I need to give myself? Some of your listeners are great at planning, but they are available to people all day. So maybe for them, it's permission to plan. Others of your listeners work so hard all the time and they have very little energy to really be focused when when they need to. So maybe for them, it's giving themselves permission to recharge, to step away, to take a break so they can be focused in that next moment.
That's so true, and I got that. So, talk to us about your book for a moment. What's the title again, and how did the
Sure.
inspiration for the title
Yeah.
came about?
Title is Focused as a Bee, 6 buzzworthy strategies to thrive in a distracting world. The idea, the epiphany for the book came from the fact that my daughter Sydney and I are beekeepers, and we have enjoyed that for about 6 years. And along the way, we began to learn so many amazing things from honeybees, not just the idea about being pollinators, but how they get so much done. And we started asking ourselves, where does that come from? How do they figure it out? And of course, it's instinct for them, but still, it's things that we could learn. And so we started applying some of those principles, and then decided that, hey, there's a book here. There's things that we're using that we want to share with others, and that became the book that's now Focused as a Bee.
Beautiful. That's a great one. I love that. So, to bring this to an end, Jones, what would you like to leave the audience with, like a final thought? And to those folks who would like to make a purchase of your amazing book, or ask questions, or even learn more about everything we've discussed so far, how can that be possible?
Sure, absolutely. My final thought is for your listeners to simply ask themselves, what could I accomplish if I improve my ability to focus? And to make that list, and then begin to figure out what permissions you need to give yourself to start taking those steps to accomplish those things that are most important. For people who want to learn more about the book or about me, of course, the website is focusedasabee.com. That's focusedasabee.com. I also put out a lot of content on LinkedIn. So if they want to connect with me on LinkedIn, they can simply go there and type in Jones Loflin. I know you'll have that information in the show notes, so they can grab it there. But that'd be 2 ways they can connect with me, learn more about the book, and hopefully learn to thrive like a bee in all that they do.
Awesome. Beautiful. So, that's going to be the end of the show, my man. Thank you so very much for coming, and thank you for sharing these beautiful stuff with us. It means a whole lot. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Elisha, for your time today. Appreciate it.